before me.
Here we are.
Terrified, clutching your bane.
And yet you do not plead.
Emperor Emir has marched his
Alright.
legions into our land.
So we're all set up, I
Laid
believe.
siege to every fortress from here to the Blue Mountains. Rabid
One
and
moment.
ravenous, he bites and bites away. Men of the North, you stand at the precipice. Your kings have failed you, so now you turn to
Of the North.
and yet you do not plead,
Plead.
not kneel to dust your heads with ash.
There we are.
Geralt had to face Eredin.
So I want to beat this game
With the help of friends.
before Final Fantasy VII comes out. So
He defeated with exceptionally powerful magic. So Triss and Yen set out to reconvene the Lodge of Sorcerers.
I want to keep focusing on it for now.
Too began to lay plans of his own.
We're gonna start on the DLC right away today, because we finished all the optional DLC stuff. Well, not really. There's still question mark stuff here and there, but like I'm not going on my way to do that stuff normally. Normally I just do that stuff when it just is around the thing I'm already doing. Pretty good, pretty good. DLC. The DLC's been pretty good other than the everything optional. I don't think I remember liking anything optional from the DLC, unfortunately. Pretty universally mediocre, unfortunately. The exact opposite for the main quest so far, so let's continue with the main quest. And in some cases, infuriating. 30,000 crowns. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's some slap some babies money right there that they just made me use for no damn reason. Some babies need to be slapped. Hey, I'm missing my signs. It's because I'm on a boat, I guess, huh? What if I get off this part of the boat? There we go. About damn time. Let's say I thought there was a sign here, so I was like, what the hell? So my plan here is I gotta sell some stuff. I gotta get rid of some crap because we gotta make money again, as we're poor as hell after spending 30,000 crowns on nothing. Literally nothing. Like you spend 30,000 crowns just to buy the right to spend absurd amounts of money on things that are useful, but not 30,000 crown useful. Not even really 5,000 crown useful. Okay, that's what I thought. What are you doing? Get off the dang stupid... Stop! Stop it! James said he's a pro baby slapper. Some babies deserve slapping after what we saw yesterday. It wasn't even yesterday. It was like the past 2 damn days. You know what? Nobody got no time to deal with you. How's that feel, huh? How's life right now, huh? Huh? Is it good? No? It seems like you're in a lot of pain. Asshole game. So, oh yeah, I have to go into town to sell. was modding on stream. Yeah, sure, fine. No problem, James. I understand. Wah, 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 wah.
Trouble?
I doubt her man will ever be
Well, another freak. Long live Radovid.
Hello? Hello?
Greetings, IP.
There we go. All right. Let's get some more of his money while getting rid of all this crap that is just worthless. It would have value if the game wasn't so greedy, but you know, it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. We hit up the blacksmith, the armorer, get rid of the armor,
So long.
and then we dip out.
Stay out of my way.
I mean, we go to the DLC stuff.
What do you seek, King Giver?
Oh. What the hell is this guy doing?
Viva Radovid.
Why do they put people in front of the signs, dude? It's the worst place to put people. They don't belong there. They're just in the damn way. No, it's not, James. People do that all the time. Wah, wah, wah. It's one of the things that, like, some streamers try to use to keep viewers. They'll mod like everybody, but you normally notice when that happens, because there'll be almost as many mods, if not more, than the actual viewers. But yeah, you just got to be active, and
Oi, get on.
there not be any mods, and then normally someone will be a mod sooner or later.
So long.
Or have a toxic enough community
Geralt,
that you have
good
to
of you
have
to
a bunch of
come by.
mods.
What can I do for you?
Need some armor made.
And then not be an asshole. If you're not an asshole yourself and all those other things happen, then it normally works out for you. If that's what you're looking to do.
What are you selling? What's good?
Alright, let's put those gauntlets in with the other gauntlets.
Take care now.
I'm sorry, is there a difference, Frank?
I'll tell you where the loot's at.
So where were you at yesterday? You alright, man?
Your mate split the loot between them long and
Button demanding all your attention again. What? They were picking on the canola oil. Bullies. Sound like bullies to me, James. Alright.
Sir, we were up.
How'd I get these two boots that I don't remember having? Her and tons of errands. I got you, man.
Geralt,
How much money is she down
Need
to?
some more.
Damn. I one day might get all my money back. Probably not. Because she'll be,
What are you selling?
I'll be having
What's
to craft
good?
stuff from her soon enough, and then she'll have all my money again. Plus, she gives you worse prices on the stuff that both the blacksmith and the armorer give you. Like on these, she gives you 5, where the weaponsmith Hattori Hanzo gives 10. She's that greedy. Greedy, 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 greedy. She gives you literally half of what he gives you. Unbelievable. You disgust me.
Take care now.
I only made your life's long dream come true. You know, why wouldn't you be a greedy bitch?
What fucked up this?
Wah, 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 wah.
Down sits in YOLO tree.
Got a problem? Send for Geralt of Rivia.
Such lovely natural surroundings.
Naggy Nagerson. Naggy. Alright, so. Man, what the hell? Why do I master 153? Give me a damn minute here. I should be at like 120 or something. What the hell's weighing me down? The hell do I got on me that's weighing that much? Those don't have any weights. Do I have like hides and shit? Yeah, I did grab some hides. That's what it is. Yeah, some hides and stuff like that. And like horse hides alone are almost a pound. And then some of these other things. And the boar hides. And yeah. Alright, so let's stop off one more time right here.
Stay out
Yeah.
of my way.
What, you gonna do something? I'll whoop your little ass. So, I'm gonna be doing... What the hell am I gonna be doing besides whooping that little ass if he tries to do something?
Oh,
Oh, I'll be doing that a lot.
get off.
Oh.
Oh. Wait, what the fuck was that?
Just talk.
Did you hear how she was breathing? Like, what the fuck was that?
Greetings, Ibeer.
Greetings, Geralt.
Sounds like some sort of goblin breathing or some
Listen,
shit.
would you craft something for me?
Now I don't know what the hell. Yeah, I've never even bothered. I've given up on YouTube, dude. Emotes are for Twitch now. Fuck YouTube, dude. It's trash. It's a trashy trash platform. It's not worth anybody's damn time most of the time. I thought this guy did leathers and stuff, huh? That's odd that he doesn't do leathers and stuff.
So long.
Who does good prices on leathers then?
Open up.
It's probably not this guy in here, but I don't give a damn. I need to get rid of him.
offering.
Now that I know where to get more of these, I'm not concerned with keeping them around. Terrible prices on this shit. Oh yeah, this is super terrible prices. Oh well. As I said, I don't want them in my pocket. Huh. I'm confused. Why is my weight still so damn high? What the hell is so heavy in me? The swords are new in there, but that's only a half a pound too. Come on, man. The fuck is all this weight coming from? I should be about 120. Oh, the shackles. Ah, there we go. There's another thing. They're Demetrium's shackles, though. I should probably break those down. This stuff is all weightless, right? Yes. It's not that then. The food's weightless. Wait, how much does a saddle weigh? I haven't put it on my horse yet. Not saddle, but thing. It's only a pound. That's only 0.06 of a pound, so these are weightless. The runes don't weigh that much. Like, all those runes are 0.47. Like 38 of them right here. I used to have all my runes in there. So maybe it is the runes. All of that adds up, I guess. All of these weighing about a third of a pound. Well, not all of them, but like this being about a third. A third or a fourth. I mean a third or a half of a pound in some cases almost. All these together probably weigh like 5 pounds maybe. Not so much over here though. Yeah, I don't know. The armor is not that bad. 8, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess it might be the combination of the runes and the armor that I normally don't carry. But I still feel like it's a little higher than I would have expected it to be. Like I expected it to be in the 120s. Whew, that's a good part of it. I got the silver in there. I carry that around with me now, and that's actually quite heavy. I guess I should just break down the silver. So yeah, let's break down the silver, because once it becomes this stuff is weightless. Like once it becomes an actual craftable ore instead of a raw material, it's weightless.
See you.
I call him Donkey because he's an ass. Oh. Less us and more pause, please.
Greetings, Ibeer.
Greetings, Geralt.
Listen.
Alright, let's do some dismantling. Dismantle some stuff I've been meaning to dismantle for a while anyways. It's a lot of money though. But I think I'll just go ahead and make the money back from them. So all that silver. I now have additional silver ingots that weigh nothing now. This is gold and timber. Alright. And more silver. And more silver. And more silver. So what are we looking at here? Is this all weightless? Yes, it's all in the weightless materials. So in order to make my money back, I'm gonna use rubies, I think. So let's disassemble all the rubies. And might as well disassemble these two while I'm at it. There we go. Been meaning to disassemble this, see what that note is. It doesn't turn into a paper, it turns into a note. And I think it's gonna probably be something like calling you a heartless fucker. I mean to do it this time. So let's try to remember here. So it all became weightless. That's great. That's very great. Let's go ahead and get our money back though. This guy gives really good prices on all his stuff that he buys from you compared to all the other vendors in the game. Hey, Night Howler, thanks man. Thanks for becoming a member, buddy. I appreciate that. I think there should still be a pop-up though for this. Meh, meh. It's been delayed here lately. I don't know. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot, Night Howler. Meh. Where's my thing? There we go. Oh, it did pop up. It happened finally.
Oh yeah, you gotta get swifty. You gotta get swifty in here.
I was worried it wasn't gonna pop up. I'm not getting all my money back, huh? Well, I can make more. Let's go ahead and do the little trick I thought of with that when I was comparing all the prices to everything on disassembles and sells and all that stuff. Let's disassemble the brains of the drowners. I have 1,000,000 drowner brains. And they disassemble into 2 components. And they cost 7 to disassemble each. But the 2 components sell for 10 each. And the drowner brain itself sells for a maximum of 10. So you get more value by disassembling it and selling it, just like most of the bits in this game. There we go. So sell all 100 of these. As you can see, I've already made a profit, and I've only sold the blood because I spent 700 to disassemble it, and now I sell 10 of these for 1,000. Now, if I would have sold those brains for 10 each, I wouldn't have made a profit of 300 so far. So this is not that, it's not that much. It's only a profit of 600 over the full thing. But you know, I sell the monster brains for another. Oh, I can't get the full value. Nice. This is what I was aiming for. I just wanted to get all my money back off of him that I gave him, because I like to get his money down to 0 here lately. It's my way of knowing I'm making some of my damn money back after having spent an absurd, freaking, ridiculously insane amount of money to unlock the ability to spend more money this sons of bitch game. Whew, alright. What? Did it sell? Okay. Because the pile disappeared. It just moved it, right? Like, where's my string? Do you see string anywhere? Did it just sell my entire pile of string? You can't do that. Okay, it moved it. Good deal. I was about to say, you can't do that. Like, you can't sell above your thingy. I thought it was cheating me. Alright. There we go.
So long.
This is definitely the most generous vendor in the game, Hattori. Like, other vendors tend to give half the value that he gives for the same stuff, even if they're the same type of vendor.
Good folk! Mages have set the hunter's house aflame!
At most, they'll give like 75, 70-ish% of what he gives. I've never seen anybody give his prices fully though. On the things that you sell to him. Armor, of course, is an exception to that, but like the things that go well for them, like the components for crafting and the swords and all that stuff, and all that's better on him. All right, so we got down to 122. That's what I was trying to get to. I was like, didn't feel right being so high, but now we're there. That means, and we finally have some money. I could go to this guy and give him even more money and finally enchant some of my shit, but you know what? No, I won't be doing that right now. I'm still a bit salty that I gave him that damn much money to begin with.
Heard you witches are stand-up chaps. That's so.
Who burnt down this place?
As the dwarf. Down with all
Ha!
What is it?
That bloody Nilfgaardian Imperia can kiss me down there. Keep her down, you burst a vessel.
You let him near that thing?
Grub and hooch!
You have low standards.
Don't fall from the pig.
Well, look who's here. The Witcher with a stick up his ass. What's new? Got a growth on your platter there. You catch some kind of a fiery pox?
Could say so. Manor's burning. You noticed?
That? All right. You know how it is. Feast drags on with
Kitty
pleasure,
cat.
dancing, merrymaking, rough play. We got a bit carried away, truth be told.
Plain to see.
I'm sorry, were you saying
Where's
something?
old
I was
Gear?
distracted.
Damned if I know. Must be somewhere hereabouts. No! Please! I beg you!
Shut your trap.
Let me go! Leave me be!
Shut it.
I ate with yous! Drank with yous! Fought beside yous! And you'd kill me now? I'm one of yous!
You might have been, but not no more you ain't.
What's he guilty of?
What the fuck's it to you? Not your concern, mate.
Also, hey, if you're still here, Howler, I only stream for part of the day on the YouTube. Just want to make sure, because you don't talk as much. I used to stream every single day on YouTube the whole day, but not as much as I used to because, well, YouTube suppresses streams, live streams. You have to actually go out of your way to find live streams, or if you're already subscribed to a person, you can see them. Like I've shown it on stream several times, so I want to go over it again. But like, yeah, you can test it yourself in cognito mode. If you go in cognito mode, you'll see that if you search for a game, even like Fortnite, live streams either don't show up entirely, or maybe one or two will show up. And so I stream on Twitch more than I stream on YouTube now. What I do is I stream on YouTube for about anywhere from an hour to about a half an hour to a couple hours at the start of the day, and then I do the rest of the day on YouTube. I mean on Twitch, because unlike YouTube, Twitch is a platform that actually rewards people for streaming. Once I start producing video content, all that'll be on YouTube again. But YouTube doesn't not just reward you, but they actually actively punish you for streaming nowadays. So, yeah, I don't do it here as much as I do it there on the Twitch. Okay, just thought you should know, because I don't see in chat really, and so I thought you should, if you were gone and you're like, hey, where'd he go? He just disappeared. It's because I went to Twitch for the rest of the day. Alright, so let's get back to YouTube. Is this? Also, one thing that you can do, you can't do it here, but you'll be able to do it on Twitch, is use emotes and stuff like that. Make things happen. But I used to have that on YouTube too, but it broke. YouTube broke it temporarily, and they said they weren't going to be able to fix it for a few months, and so I just never bothered. It might be fixed by now, but I don't really care, because I've just lost interest in YouTube for streaming, unfortunately. I only do it because of my old-time subscribers, just to hang out. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Howler. Okay. Oh, guys, by the way, because more of you have gotten here by now, I'm probably just going to continue to focus exclusively on Witcher until I beat it, because I want to beat Witcher before Final Fantasy VII comes out. And if I beat it before Final Fantasy VII comes out, I want to play some more, no, not some more, but I actually have Mountain Blade, yes, Mountain Blade 2. Because it looked like a really interesting game, and so I'm going to play some of that too. But for now, I was going to play some of that today, but I was like, I really, really want to make sure I fully finish Witcher by the time Final Fantasy VII comes out. You guys know how thorough I tend to be when it comes to games, so I got to get on this. stay on this.
Whoa, there's a little raw. Why?
You deaf! Get the fuck out of here, freak!
All I want is to know what exactly is going on here.
Well, you're not gonna know. Sod off.
I'll leave as soon as you tell me.
Aren't you a thorny prick up the arse? Ataman said to kill him!
Got your answer, happy? Now piss off. We've work to do.
No need to be edgy. Let's talk about this. Let him go or face my wrath? Really? Face my wrath. Dude, really? That's a terrible... Do what you will, not my concern. Yeah, no need to be edgy.
Wait.
Let's say this.
I know Olgierd wants him dead. Still don't know why, though.
Just what the fuck is it to you, anyhow?
Nothing really. Just curious.
Cocksucker violated our chivalric code. Just one penalty for that. Death.
He was the one who slapped the lady on the ass, I think.
What is this row? Are you not done with it? My ears wither from the screams.
So he probably did more.
Ah, Geralt. As you've returned, might I assume you've cleared the sewers? Or have you not been there?
You killed my father!
Well, that was unexpected.
Not I.
You lie! Whoreson!
That man killed him. Alone. Unbeknownst to me. Out of fury, for your father refused us hospitality. For this willful violation of the chivalry code, he was summarily executed himself. Anything else I might do for you? Take her away. Now, where were we?
Really necessary, that whole show?
Ah, show? Come now. A man must display some madness from time to time. Helps him feel alive. Dare say you know what I mean. judging by the mark on your face.
You know what this is?
I cannot be certain, but I've my suspicions. That's a dangerous man you've chosen to deal with, Witcher.
You're immortal?
Depends on your understanding of the term. Indeed, I cannot be killed. But it's not at all what folk imagine. Not dying does not mean eternally living your life to the full.
So it's a curse?
A curse? No, wouldn't call it that. I'll put it this way. You must be careful what you wish for, lest your wish be granted. For there are consequences.
Not sure I follow.
You know very little can hurt you. So you take wild risks. Chase extreme sensations. There comes a point you've done it all. It all seems boring and monotonous. The trick's to plough through that moment. Go further. Reach beyond what's known as possible.
Killed the beast in the sewers.
Congratulations are in order then. Your reward. You're also welcome to take what you wish from the manor house. If anything's left uncharred, that is. Was it a tough fight?
I sliced its gut open, and it turned into a man. You know that would happen?
Of course he did. He'd never have dragged you into this elsewise.
Gaunter old Dick. Come to cast aspersions?
No. I've come to collect a debt.
You know you first must...
Grant you 3 requests, by proxy. I present to you my champion, Geralt of Rivia.
That true? You know the Toad was a cursed prince?
He didn't just know. He brought about the curse himself. Did he not mention that bit? Well then, allow me to tell it. Quite the gripping story. Olgierd once loved a beautiful maiden named Iris. Yet, her parents chose to offer her hand to the Crown Prince of Ophir. Olgierd grew to hate the poor sot. At first, he wished to kill him. Then decided this would be too simple. So, instead, he condemned the prince to a base life in a toad's bloated corpus. Yet he grew bored of watching him suffer and decided to end it. By your hand.
Remind me, Odin. Who is to fulfill my last 3 requests?
My assistant, Geralt.
Then be gone. I don't wish to look at your face any longer than I must. Come.
Where to?
The stables. My men are preparing to depart.
You turned the prince into a toad. You knowingly put me in danger. Like, we've been over this multiple times. Is he gonna say something different this time? Isn't this the 3rd time we brought this up? Let's see what happens.
What he said about the prince. That true? You turn him into a toad?
Perhaps. Or perhaps the Ephiri Dauphin ate something that disagreed with him. You never know with their cuisine.
Never heard of food that turns men into monsters.
Then perhaps it was something he drank.
James.
I cast the curse. Revenge for a deep disappointment. I was another man then. Let rage get the better of me and hollered the words without ever thinking they could possibly come true.
I don't...
Could have told me the truth.
This is
about
also
the
a
toad,
stupid one.
Having a bit of fun at my expense.
I simply wanted the beast dead. I could not know you would respond to the notice. Pure coincidence. Yeah, I must admit, when you, a Witcher, answered the call, I thought it right. It's what you lot are trained to do.
Might have been able to lift the
That's
curse.
weird, talking from
Perhaps.
underneath a horse.
Perhaps not. Then again, why bother?
He was a human being.
That bloody Ephiri mutt was no human. His kind does not deserve to live.
Guess I gotta poke the question directly. What do I need to do for you?
Let me think. We're currently without a roof over our heads. Perhaps we should start with that. Bring me the house of Maximilian Bossodi.
His house?
So surprised. But why? I must live somewhere, mustn't I? What's the meaning of this? Second leave of your senses? You mean to mount a filthy horse? Out of my sight, wretch! Know what Vladimir would do to you if he saw?
Aye. Vladimir.
My brother. There were times he himself stank like foot wrappings 3 days old. But his mount always looked fit for a parade. Oh, none rivaled Vladimir at feasting, carousing. Sadly, he's been celebrating less of late. You must find him, and show him the time of his life. My second request.
Fine, seems easy enough. And the third?
Complete those two. Then, we shall speak of the third.
Any hints? Where I should go? How I might start?
You must be mad. I've no intention to make things easier for you.
Once I'm done with those two, where will I find you?
I cannot know, as my band has planned some diversions. But let us say at the Alchemy Inn, in Oxenfurt.
Fine. See you there. The brother shouldn't be too hard.
Alright, what part are you stuck on, Night Howler?
Am I supposed to bring him a house?
Actually, the opposite. I wouldn't worry about the house. The brother will be the tough bit.
You waited for me. Nice of you.
I could hardly abandon my proxy to the whims of fate.
Thought I have to fulfill Olgierd's wishes myself.
So states the contract. Yet, nowhere does it forbid me from providing help. And something tells me you'll need quite a bit to complete the first 2 tasks.
Olgierd's brother. Why do you think he'll be tough?
I'm afraid he's dead. Has been for years.
Well, that seems
Never
like
agreed to
cheating.
Necromancy.
Necromancy is hardly your only option for reviving a soul. An old-fashioned ritual, a blood summoning. That's what you need.
That's like choosing between pestilence and the plague. Besides, I'd need the blood of the summoned.
Blood. True. Of the summoned, not necessarily. Here.
Where do you get this?
Geralt, aren't you the curious one?
Von Everett.
Assume it to be Von Everett blood and get on with it.
Where'll I find this Vladimir?
Geralt, I cannot do everything for you. Use your head. The Von Evericks are well known in these parts. You must have met someone who's heard of the family. The charming redhead, for instance. The medic. You know the one.
Borsodi's house. No idea how I'm supposed to bring him that.
The only Borsodi I know around here runs
better
an
equipment.
auction house in Oxenfurt.
Heard of it. My swords almost got auctioned off there once. Auction was held in Novigrad, though it was a while past.
They must have relocated. You just might get an opportunity to ask them why.
Fine, I'll go there. Then what?
How should I know? Perhaps you'll get inspired once you're there. Oh, and take plenty of coin. Have a feeling it could come in handy.
Come on, man. Greedy game wants more of my money?
Guess it's high time I got to work.
A bit more enthusiasm, Witcher. You know, you just might enjoy yourself.
Yay, can't wait. Say I need help. Where'll I find you?
I shall find you. Good luck, Geralt.
So, do you need the better equipment just because you just want better equipment, or do you want to be stronger because you're having trouble with something? Because often you can actually get past just about anything. Ah! With the right, I'm trying to look for loot. This dude said I could have anything here, so maybe there is. That's a hint to look around before you leave. Wait. What was that? Oh, that's just a door inside the building. A lot of locked doors. Thought I was supposed to be allowed to have stuff. Bastard. Locked all the damn doors. Yeah, this is some greedy DLC, man. It wants all your money. I already gave it 30,000 crowns. Like, how is that not enough? Beating my enemies at the moment. I don't need stronger weapons. I need to. Okay, so oftentimes it's just about the way you fight them too. That'll help out quite a bit. So I don't know. Like, I've respec'd my character a bunch of times, and so this is the current thing that I'm playing with now. But one thing that helps quite a lot is this skill. If you haven't tried it out yet, not having to spam food is just so nice. So what you do, you eat food once, 20 minutes later, out of game, by the way, you have to eat food again. So you have a constant in combat regeneration of your health if you go long enough without taking damage. And then the shield sign at level 0 is like the best sign in the game. Only recently have I found another sign that's actually competitive with it. This skill maxed out can't compete with the ability of Quinn sign without a single point in it. This one maxed out can't compete with this one without a point in it. This one up to, okay, so this one up to here, 13 points, can't compete with this skill with only a point put in it. And this skill is always a bit good. Depends on the monster. For certain monsters that you can knock prone and kill in one hit, this is really nice, obviously, even if you put no points in it. But this one here, if you max this thing out, hell, I'll show you. This is insanity. So this is the newest experiment I tried, was maxing out these last 2 magic abilities so I can see how they worked out. Another thing that is actually incredibly powerful is potions, believe it or not. Putting stuff into the potions, you can do some silly stuff. But I'd also recommend avoiding strong strike stuff, because it just doesn't really help that much. Maybe with Rend and Sunder, but you have to invest so many points to unlock those. My favorite thing so far is like putting points into this till you get Whirlwind to 5, and Whirlwind is pretty fun and it's pretty useful most of the time too. And when I redo my character again, I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to get all the way up to 5 on Whirlwind. This skill here is one of the best skills in the game as well. Undying makes it so that as long as you have this red bar over here, the red bar underneath the stamina bar, if you have 1 point in that, and you would have died from a hit, it refills your health. It goes on cooldown after that. It's you can't use it again right away, but that's another skill you might think about. So there's a lot of skills that will make big differences in what you can do. But even without the skills, just playing particular ways will make a massive difference. And what I would do here is Quinn. Quinn should be your #1 thing you use for most fights if you're struggling against things. Because like I'm playing on max difficulty with level scaling on, right? And no matter what my build has been, I've always been able to take on whatever I was fighting. Even things that were above my level, it just takes longer and longer. And it's all because of this right here. You're invincible. If they hit you, it just, you take no damage. So the amount of time it takes for you, like the big key to this then is learning how to evade until you can get your health back. So you eat your meal, right? So you always have your health regen going. And then when you feel like you're in danger, at that point, activate the sign again, and then start using circle to evade. I'll show you. X isn't really a good evade. I know it seems okay, it gives you a lot of distance, but if you're up close to the enemy, circle is a much faster evade to give you a little bit of distance. And then from there, start worrying about maybe X a little bit to get you some distance. But the thing about the X evade is that it's slower to come out. It might go further, but it's slower to come out, and it consumes stamina, where the circle evade consumes no stamina. How are there no enemies? Here we go. So check it out. Right now, let me switch armors, because right now I have really, really, really good stamina regen because I'm wearing the Griffin armor. Huh? What just happened? Where's my weapon? Let's make sure it didn't drop. Okay, good. Alright, so now my stamina regen is nowhere near as good. It's still pretty good, though, because I've invested so much in magic.
Ugly bastard.
So what happens is, like, just start every fight like this, and so when the enemy hits you, it does no damage, right? And then just, as soon as you get your shield lost, start using circle to evade the monster. You can literally just spam it most of the time and be fine. Monsters are finicky. They don't like to just attack you readily. Like they need to be in a certain position to attack you. I don't get it. So I'm right next to him and I'm not having any issues. Most monsters will be a bit better than this thing, obviously, at attacking you. But if it's something like a golem or something like that, something like a golem will attack from a much greater range, so doing this isn't going to be as useful. But what you'll want to do instead is the golem, if the golem is attacking with his left hand first, then what you do is you go through that to the opposite side and try to get behind him. So this monster always backs away when it's not wanting to attack you, so you can't really get behind it as easily. But with the golem, it's really easy to get behind it, right? So then you reactivate your shield and you just keep dodging again. And then when you have your stamina full again, that means it's safe to attack, because you can instantly reactivate your shield again. So then you hit him and you're like, oh wait, I lost my shield. So evade, wait for my stamina, and then evade and attack. Try not to do more than 1 or 2 hits against most monsters. And then just keep your shield. Always keep your shield up. No matter how big the hit is. It doesn't matter how big it is. Your shield will protect you from it. That's why it's the strongest spell in the game, in my opinion. And you'll find that monsters that will take 1,000 hits for you to kill, you'll still be able to beat. You won't like the fight, because the fight will take forever to finish. But as long as you play carefully and you just constantly circle evade, you will eventually win. And the other thing is, against bigger ones, like these guys are small, so like only circle evade is needed. Really, only circle evade is needed on most monsters. But if you feel like you want to get a bit more distance, because it's something like really big, like a golem with a lot of range, that's when you do a circle evade to get a little bit of distance, and then you use the X to get a lot of distance, right? So they have to come and chase you down. So you get a little bit of distance with that. And the reason why you want a little bit of distance before you use this is because this activates so much slower. You actually have invincibility frames at the start of this circle evade. You can dodge through attacks and take no damage. Saw that. But this one's same thing, but it takes longer for it to come out because he's so much slower to do it. And then the other problem, like I said with this, is if I use up my stamina to activate this, notice that my stamina keeps pausing on its regeneration as I evade like this. It's because this is a stamina pausing move, whereas this for some reason is not. As you've seen, it just shot right up as if like it fills. My stamina's filling no problem as I spam circle. And so you just do this, and I'm gonna let him hit me once just to see. Notice that it blocked all the hits right there, because the other one had hit me before the shield had fully exploded off of me, so I got another free shield. Like it blocked both of the hits. If the shield would have fully been replenished before the second hit, then that wouldn't have been blocked. So I would have taken a little bit of chip damage. But if I took a little bit of damage after that, then, well, not chip damage, but, you know, a little bit of damage because I didn't have a shield at that point. But at that point, that's when you dodge again, reactivate again, and then, like, depends on how much damage the monster does, right? If the monster hits you and you lose half your health in one hit, then if you've been hit one time, it's time to run away and pull your shield up and wait till you have more energy for another shield. And then start attacking. If the monster hits you and does like a third of your health at that, then you know you can maybe take 2 more hits, and so maybe you can play a little bit more risky, and even you have your shield up, but you're not waiting for it to come back to be able to cast it yet another time right away and get a few hits in here and there. It's all about sticking and moving. The strong attacks, they're useful, but the problem with the strong attacks is the build up. Look at like, even without the sword, this is a fast attack, right? Boop. And watch how fast I can dodge after it too. Now watch a strong attack. The problem is that most of the enemies in the game are very evasive, and so the length of time it takes for these strong attacks to come out, often the monster jumps away from you. Another useful move that you might mess around with, but then the other thing, the other thing that really actually, besides just the fighting techniques, that one technique will help you to the point where you don't have to do anything else almost. In almost any fight, you can win almost any fight just by doing that. It just takes a long time for certain fights, depending on how strong the monster is. But the next thing is actually making sure to craft your decoctions and your other potions, because some of them are absurdly good, dude. Take a look at at some of these potions here. Like some of my choice potions is this one here. When you max out the potion that gives you immunity to poisons, first it gives you resistances, then it gives you immunity, and look at the last level. Extended duration. Poisons now heal instead of doing damage. So if you're fighting inside one of those areas that actually poison you, you'll regenerate health from the poison instead of losing health. Potions make a massive, massive difference in the fights. And depending on what you're fighting, you just use something different every time. Like this one, if you're having trouble with a vampire, this makes it so that 30% of the damage they do to you is reflected back at them. Once you get good at using that shield sign, you almost always have full health. And this one, well, not that one, but there's one over. This one's one that just gives you 50 HP per kill, unless you fast travel or meditate, then it goes away. Where is it? There's one that gives you 50% increased damage as long as your health is full. I'm not as big a fan of these things because of toxicity and stuff like that. The heal potions. Yeah, here's the top. That's one on mounted combat. I don't like the mounted combat. That one was the vitality one maxed. Stamina regeneration. So things that consume stamina regenerate vitality. Lots of these things end up being pretty good. You just have to like kind of like look at what it is that you're doing at the time, then just go through your potions and think about which one might end up being the best for that situation. Like maybe you're taking little tiny bits of damage here and there, but not that much, but your health regen just isn't quite enough with your shield. Well, whenever you hit the enemy, you get 10% of the damage you do back in health. You know, there's little bits of things like that. But really the best thing of them all isn't the potions, even though if you spec in potions, if you put levels in potions, the potions are just broken. A lot of this stuff is broken if you specialize in it. But the thing that's really, really useful is the oils. Try to max out your oils as quickly as possible, because the oils do really, 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 really good stuff. You get 50% more damage against whatever you're fighting. Just whatever you're fighting, once you know which oil it's weak to, you get 50% damage. And the way to know what it's weak to is to make sure to check your bestiary. And so if you're fighting something you don't really know about, then you go through the bestiary and try to find out where it is. And so if it's an insectoid, you use insectoid oil, or necrophage's oil, or the ogred's oil, or relic oil. There's an oil for every single type of monster in the game. There's even human oil. Oils and blaze give a chance to poisoning the target. Yes, that's the other thing. Poison and bleed is another effective tool because they're percentage-based damages. So if you're having trouble killing a monster, poison and bleed is pretty effective because it's percentage-based damage. Another thing, trying to figure out where this was. Consume mutagens, all bombs, adds 5% protection. And this one here is one of the ones that helps the oils. So you can reduce the damage you take from a monster that you used oil on your weapon for by 25% when it's maxed out. So like the oil gives you defense and offense and defense. But all that stuff. And then, of course, I'm pretty sure you already know about crafting mutagens, upgrading them so that you can get bigger stuff depending on what you want your build to be. And let me go to assign so I can show you something real quick. One of the most important things is save before you do this. I would do like a hard save before you do this, because like say you're struggling right now and you don't feel like you're effective at what you're doing, but you want to test out other things, then what I would do is I would head to one of the many places where you can buy respec potions that let you completely redo your character. Like one of the very first places in the game, actually I can't remember where you find her. One of the first places in the game you can find one is this female alchemist wizard lady or sorceress lady. You'll know her because the cutscene that you see her in, she's naked the first time you see her, so that's going to be one of the first ones you can buy a respec potion from. They're 1,000 crowns each potion though, so they're not super cheap. But if you're struggling and you think that it's based on how you made your character so far, you can it'll make a massive difference, because I've played around with 5 different builds. I think now I've just kept trying different things because I want to experience all the different skills in the game and see how they go. Like I made a pure alchemy one, a pure magic one, a pure offensive one, with melee. All kinds of different ones I've made now. This is another one though. So this fella right here. Which is to the west of the Crow's Perch, which is where that Baron guy was. And it's to the southeast of this island, I mean this landmass here. And a little bit on the west side, north of a town called Blackbow. You can find this alchemist. This alchemist, he sells one the first time, but I don't think it comes back when you buy it. So that's one of the reasons I say save before you buy it, because you might not like any of the things you do, right? I'd make like 2 or 3 saves, by the way. That way you can easily distinguish where it is, and also like look somewhere before. Wait, yeah, let me actually mark it on my map so I ran past it. I do that all the time, but I would save just in case you decide it's not worth it, and then teleport to somewhere where you know you can do some fights and play with it for like a half an hour or so, and maybe do 2 or 3 different builds that you can come up with, and you know, just burn about, you know, half an hour or so on each one, getting a feel for it and deciding what you like best, because it not only just will make you stronger, but it might make the game infinitely more enjoyable. So to what I mean by like saving, and something you might notice is like that book and him. So if I save 3 times, wait for that to go. There we go. Still not done. There we go. So now when I go to my load, all 3 pictures are the same thing. It'll be really easy for you to find. And he sells one at first, but he doesn't sell any after the one.
Could use a few.
There's another vendor that replenishes them though, and you can buy multiples off of. But you should only need this guy at first, because like I said, just experiment, save and load. So after you've got the one thing,
So long.
you play around, you just go into your inventory, it'll be in here. I keep extra on me. I think I do. Wait, it's on the bottom, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Potion of Clearance. Return all ability points spent to develop abilities. The available pool, so you can redistribute them. So when you use that and you go into your character, you'll have all your points back to play around with again, and you're like, oh man, I really wasted a bunch of points on my crossbow and it just isn't really worth it, or I really wasted a bunch of points on signs that I don't like, because there are certain signs that are ridiculous. Like, I think that doing something like this, how many more do I need? 7. This is Undying is so good. So I'm gonna go with this would be something I if I was to redo my character again, which I'm not gonna do right now. These are the abilities I'm gonna prioritize if I want to be as strong as possible, I think. Oh yeah, there's the 3 skills I take in every build. I forgot about that. One of these, I wish you got this for free, because it makes the game so much less tedious. And the same with the carry weight. So like, I put these on every single one of my builds. And then for whatever armor I'm going to use, then I pick whichever one it is. Like say I'm using cat armor right now, right? So I'd grab that one and I'd put that on. And then I'm equipping all my fast attack related skills. And then this here, the Igni sign, oh my god, I'm about to show you what this Igni sign can do when it's maxed out. It's so ridiculous. I think you really only need the Igni sign to beat most of the damn game, like 90% of its content. Anything that's not immune to Igni sign burn effect is just dead. It's just dead. So 7 points in things. Let's see. Trying to think of which one I want to mess around with here. I do like the shield too. I guess I can start putting stuff in the shield. The active shield, nah. Alright. I hate how many points it takes to unlock the third area. It's just way more than everything else. The art stuff is nice. The duration says I need 4 more points. I guess I could do the... I don't like the becoming an ally thing, because it's just the enemies don't attack fast enough most of the time, so that it wears off before they even really do any damage. I'm just trying to do what I would do right now in this situation for me specifically, if I wanted to min-maxy. Increase the yard range. Really, I think at this point I'm just taking stuff to get rid of things. I'm just trying to unlock that level, that thing. That's all I want right now, unfortunately. They make you take so much crap you don't need to unlock some of these things sometimes. So just one more, right? Yeah. What will be the most useful of all these one mores? And 5 more. Darn, I'm only 1 level from having the build that I would want. Because this thing, having it be like this, where I have all, like, I think this would be really nice, the way I have it here. So, let me show you one of my favorite melee attacks here. It's not useful against all monsters, unfortunately, because some of them just somehow will dodge it constantly. But I love my spinnies. Spinnies! Spinnies, 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 spinnies! And, but let me show you the power of this thing. If you're really just wanting to just get through some content that you're struggling with, as long as the thing you're fighting is not immune to the Igni Sign's burn effect, you can just respec your character and put nothing but skills into the magic area until you finally unlock Igni Sign level 5. And, I mean the 4th level of Igni Sign, and then max that out. And watch what happens when you use it on 90+% of the monsters in the game. If you're fighting one that isn't affected by it, and you don't have any backup ways to do good damage, then you'll notice that you're in a lot of trouble, and it's really time consuming and tedious to fight the monster. So you in most cases you're not going to want to respec entirely into Igni. You'll want something else besides that. But if you're just wanting to get through some stuff to unlock some content that you want to get access to get a piece of armor or weapon, or beat a boss that's giving you trouble or anything like that, it doesn't matter how big the damn thing is. Let me go to the nearest teleport spot here, because I think that golem's gonna be back, guys. But yeah, my suggestion is just to make it. You don't have to do what I just did there, by the way. That's just what I'm probably going to do next time. I was just demonstrating, you know, how easy it is to respec your character. And then you play with it for about a half an hour or so, and then find your old save, reload back to it, and then test something else. And then until you find something that feels good, and then just continue the game from that with that new build. That's another way to make a big difference in... Wait, I do want to go here actually, because wasn't there a... Where was it? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just go to this question mark. There's bound to be some kind of monster at this question mark. I'm hoping it's like a big, scary, powerful monster, so you can see how ridiculously powerful this is. Igni specifically maxed out is just... I'm not even gonna like drink any potions to enhance it. I don't have any armor on right now to enhance it, by the way. Like, this is cat armor I'm wearing. The cat armor gives a little bit of sign intensity for the sword here, but most of it's attack power, so it's based on your attack damage of your attacks. Normally I was wearing the griffin armor, but I'm not wearing any of that stuff, and you'll still see how ridiculous this ends up being. Oh, I'm running towards the objective instead of where I wanted to go, so... Yeah, 'cause... It's probably just gonna be humans. Says something about prisoner in distress. Alright, so check this out. So look how much damage they do. Big scary bad guys, right? So I'm just gonna start dodging away, doing dumb shit. And then I do this. And that. Guys with shields aren't going to get hit while they're blocking. Let me just go mess with these guys here. He's kind of annoying. So just look at the guy I set on fire. Look at his health after it's finished. He can't attack while all this is happening, and now look at his health after it's done. He's at half health. So I set him on fire again. Look at him. So I'm just gonna parry him because he can block your fire with the shield, as you can see. For some damn reason he'll walk through it, but if you parry it, he'll have to lower his shield. Hey, come on, man, attack me. There we go. And now I'm just gonna keep refreshing it on him until he dies. Yeah. It's pretty damn stupid. Where did this guy say he was heading? I didn't hear him. Oh, is it this house? Okay, sweet. I thought he was gonna go somewhere else. They normally go somewhere else. It's an herbalist. Now, some monsters, when you hit them with that, won't scream in pain. Instead, what'll happen is they're just on fire. But that fire is percentage based. I think it's about 5% of their health per tick. I'm pretty sure that's about what it's doing, and it seems to do about 10 ticks. As long as you don't physically attack them, it does about 10 ticks of damage. So if you set them on fire twice, almost everything in the game dies. At least with my current level and my current Axii power and all that other stuff, or Igni power, most things in the game, even if they're not screaming in pain, will die with 2 signs. If I wait for its entire duration before it wears off. One other thing, it really... trying to like roleplay the Witcher and use this stuff here is also super helpful, because like that's how the Witcher he acts, right? Like the Witchers they use potions and oils, they have a deep understanding of how the monster works and what its weaknesses and strengths are. And so you have the same thing through the bestiary. And so if you find the bestiary doesn't always tell you the full truth though. Like sometimes there'll be things that the monster's weak against that aren't listed in the bestiary. But a good example is the foglets. These are very, very annoying monsters to fight if you don't take care of their ghostly second form. And if you read this stuff, you find out that most of your signs and stuff don't work very well on them, but your Quinn sign does, because your Quinn sign it works on you, and so when they hit you, it explodes and it doesn't deal damage to you. And then of course it tells you about which oil you should be using on them, and then it tells you to use moon dust. And the reason moon dust is good because moon dust is something, it'll make it so they can't disappear anymore. It makes things that go intangible lose the ability to go intangible. So it contains silver splinters that permanently prevent monsters from transforming. So he can't turn back into mist so that he's intangible and you can't hurt him. Instead, he becomes permanently solid, and then you can just wail on him till your heart's content without them cheesing and disappearing on you and stuff. So using this tab here, your potions and your bombs, it'll get you through most situations. Even if you don't happen to have really good weapons or armor and skills, just being patient in the way you fight and trying to utilize all the tools that you gave you will get you probably just about through any of the content in the game. And I'm not like on easy. I'm about to use the restroom, guys. I'll be right back. I'm dancing here. I gotta pee so bad. But you can see I got the difficulty maxed out and enemy scaling turned on, so I'll never fight an enemy that's lower level than me. Only enemies that are at the same level or higher than my character. But I'll be right back. I really do gotta pee pretty bad, so I'm gonna go into this menu here. I'm gonna go pee and I'll return, guys. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, sometimes the first time you fight a monster, it won't be on your bestiary. If you read all the books that you come across, it'll add them to your bestiary even if you've never fought them. Most of the monsters. But if you're fighting something that's not on your bestiary, just experiment. Like the last big boss I had fought, without spoiling the boss or anything, he was the game specifically mentioned that like they used like a Molotov cocktail on him or something, and fire just didn't seem to have an effect on him. So I was using my weakest offensive build at that time, where I was going pure magic. And the magic ones I tested, because I tested a lot of the skills just to see. I was just doing the right side of the skills, these 3 skills, and defensively my character was really powerful because of the shield ability, but offensively he was trash against anything that couldn't be affected by Axie or yeah, basically anything that couldn't be affected by Axie he was trash against, because I had like no offensive skills at all. And the boss was immune to all 3 of these spells. They didn't really do anything against him, and so it was particularly troublesome. And like first thing I had to do was figure out what oil worked on him, because it wasn't obvious, unfortunately. And so what I did was I tried I looked at my base damage of my normal attack, and the monster was particularly hard to fight because a lot of his attacks were 360 degrees attacks that would break your shield and were hard to roll through. So I had to keep constantly refreshing my shield over and over and over. It was really troublesome. And when he hits you, he did like half your health and damage. It was really a really strong monster. And so I finally found the potion, the oil that made it so I did bonus damage. And so I also drank like one of these potions that would help or something like that. And then I started, because I was still doing so little damage, I started playing around with all the different bombs, trying to find out if anything would work on them. And like a last ditch effort, I was like, whatever, let's just throw this just for the hell of it. And I threw the firebomb on him. Yeah, the game lied to me. He most certainly was not resistant to fire. So sometimes you can't trust the game, and you just have to experiment and play around. When I hit him with the superior firebomb, he stopped fighting entirely. Even though he was a giant boss, the monster just stood there and screamed in pain as he was on fire, and it took about 1/3 of his health per firebomb. It was ridiculous. So I went from when I would attack him with melee only being able to do about 400 to 500 damage, and he had to have had like 100,000 health, so it was going to take a while, to when I set him on fire with a firebomb, and each tick of the firebomb was doing like 4,000 to 5,000 points of damage or some absurd crap like that. Oh yeah, I'm sure you will. It's always possible.
Thanks again. I'd have been mincemeat if it's not for you. Name's Philibert Topical. Everyone calls me Master T. What do you think you need?
You just normally got to think your way through the fights.
Perchance?
If they're pretty strong.
Show me what you got.
Let's see if this happens to be a pretty good vendor. As far as making money is concerned, just try to sell things to the best vendors you can find. Like pick 1 or 2 things that are of the same type and look at the sell prices, and then you can compare it. Like if you remember that thing, then you can compare it across the board, all the different prices that they give you, and then you're like, aha, this is actually a really good vendor to sell this type of thing on. Like, for instance, I know that almost every herb list I've ever came across, if I was to try to sell them herbs, they always just give me 1 per herb. So yeah, he's 1 per herb guy too. The wolf's liver is a bit different, but like the basic stuff, like these little mushrooms and the fool's stuff. But then you can pick something that you know you'll always have a lot of, like these here. Make sure it's worth a few gold, and then remember what you get. 23 from this person for this, and if it ends up being higher, then I know, hey, this is a good vendor. Like the mutagens are always 5 or 7. I could have swore there was a vendor that said 20, but I haven't been able to find that vendor again. Oh, another thing. This is actually an important thing. I'm gonna do one more thing for you as far as something. To craft potions, the most important thing to crafting your potions and getting those things up so that you can use all the oils and stuff, it's something called white gold. And white gold's the stock, like the bottleneck in crafting anything. Almost everything, every potion in the game. Like these are the only 3 things I haven't made, and they don't require white gold. But like every other potion, white gold, by the way, I'm gonna say, every other one requires white gold. Like something about like around 90% of the potions require it, and sometimes they require 2 of them, because sometimes they'll require white gold as the base, and then they'll also require like some Q-Birth or some Ribis or some Nigrido or whatever the heck these things are. And if you click on this, you'll notice that it also requires white gold to craft that, white gold to craft that, white gold to craft that, white gold to craft that one, and white gold to craft that one. You notice in a pattern, white gold to craft that one, white gold to craft that one. Yeah, it's absurd. Everything in potion wise almost requires white gold. And a couple of the ingredients are semi-rare to find, and I'm going to show you where to get them, because you've already been to a vendor that sells them most likely, because they're pretty early in the game. It's just you maybe didn't realize that it was important until after you were at that vendor, after you left the vendor, I mean. And once you've taken care of the white gold, most of the other stuff will take care of itself. You'll eventually get the mutagen. Just keep fighting the things that drop the mutagens. You know, you'll eventually get all the other stuff by like holding the L2 and looking for herbs and stuff like that. So one of the best places I found to get it is right here at the Baron, that Baron's place. So if you go to the Crow Perch, and I can't remember if this is a vendor you unlock after doing some of the stuff here, or if it was here from the very beginning. But this one over here, I think it's him, Anslim. It's either Anslim or it's this trader dude. I know the trader dude's there from the very beginning.
We meet again, Master.
Show me
Yeah, it's not Anselm. Good. So it's the trader guy. Good. I wasn't sure which one it was. I forgot. I haven't had to buy white gold in a while. So you don't buy white gold directly, but you'll get 2 of the rarest ingredients for white gold. And here they are. So you can get your mandrake, and you can get your cherry cordial. The other thing you can find in a bunch of different vendors. It's not, well, this stuff isn't, this stuff is uncommon, but you can find it in random other vendors. But the 3rd ingredient for white gold is nowhere near as rare as those first 2 ingredients. They're just, and if you buy all of them, they'll come back in a day or 2 in game time. So then when you go to craft your white gold, this Redanian herbal, and these flowers, you find those everywhere. Even on, if you don't find it in the wild for some random reason, because they're so easy to see because they're white, you always get the you can always get them from every single herbalist in the entire game basically. And the Redanian herbal is a little less common, It's the thing I had the lowest amount of, but that's because it's the thing I never stock up on it. I just like, oh wait, I need a little bit more. I'll go look for some and just check a few vendors that sell the booze, and eventually you find it. And an empty bottle is super easy, obviously. But these two things, tavern keepers and stuff like that, they don't always sell these things. But that guy here, this giant muscle-bound blacksmith-looking bartender, for some reason sells both of them. Alright. So let's go to the next part of the DLC, guys. Oh, and as far as making money, the best places I've found to sell your stuff to is the blacksmith, the armorer in this town for your armor. You don't really need to necessarily use this town. You can also do the armor in the other town because she's kind of greedy as well. But when you finally unlock this guy here, the Hattori blacksmith, that makes swords, he has really good prices compared to everyone else on the things that he specializes in, because every vendor specializes in certain things. And so like I was saying, just memorize a few things that you'll always have in your inventory, and so you can test what they would sell for per blacksmith. So if you remember, or per vendor. So if you remember when we looked at one of those rings, it was like 51 or 56. I believe it was the sapphire ring. I normally would use ruby rings, but I went ahead and recently broke all those down. But once you unlock this guy as a blacksmith by doing his quest for him, if you go to his sales prices and you check the things that he specifically likes to buy, he tends to offer higher stuff than the average vendor, except for the armor. Most armorers offer more than he offers. But wait, is this a ruby ring? Yeah, there we go. So notice the ruby ring, same with the other one. That other vendor offered around 50. Notice that he's offering about 30 more. And it's not just for that, but for everything associated with those things too. So the ruby itself, notice that a ruby is worth 144. And notice the ruby ring, this is another thing that's a good tip, is breaking things down will often net you more money, but you'll want to save before you do it, because you need to experiment with certain things. So notice he's only giving 81 for that. He's giving way more for the broken down one. So because if I go to dismember, it only takes 49 gold to break this down, and the ruby itself, you get 1 ruby and 1 gold nugget. And so you saw the amount of money you'd make off of the ruby. So it's actually more valuable to break it down and then sell it. In a lot of cases, it's normally like that. Not all, but in many of them, it's like that. You know, it's not like, as far as I remember, it's not like that when it comes to breaking these things. But I haven't really tested that actually, so I can't say as far as I remember. I've just never tested breaking these down into powders and selling them individually. There's some tricky little things like that. For instance, the pearls are a really good example, because you get seashells, and seashells, it costs 1 crown to break a seashell down into a pearl. And then if you sell the pearl, it just 1 crown to make it into a pearl if you have a seashell. And then when you sell the seashell, oh wait, yeah, it's gonna be under crafting. I mean, if you sell the pearl after you've broken it down, you paid 1 crown to break it down, and you get 72 crowns to sell the pearl itself. And it's 2 crowns to break down the conch shells that turn into a black pearl, and 94 crowns to sell these. So often paying attention to the dismantle and dismantling things that make those types of resources will do it. And once you get into, like this one for Monster Brain, I should say Drowner Brains. I had an absurd amount of Drowner Brains until recently. This guy doesn't tell you the value of Drowner Brains for the average vendor, but I went around to the different people who would buy Drowner Brains and found the average price. On average, they'll pay you 10 crowns. That's the best price you tend to get for a Drowner Brain is 10 crowns. However, Hattori Hanzo is really, really generous when it comes to giving you money for monster parts. As you see, he gives you 10 per monster part, which is better than everyone else in the game so far that I found. And if you break down, and this is for not just this one, but for some of them, if you break down the like, you only want to really do this to ones you have an absurd amount of, right? Like, you don't want to, because you might need it to craft a potion or something, but you don't need 100 monster brains. Like, I had like 160 or something like that monster brains, so I broke down a bunch and sold the materials from them. But all right, where the heck are they? They're not monster brains, but specifically Drowner Brains. Here we go. So I have 85 left after breaking down over 100, and notice that the monster, you get one monster. Well, it doesn't tell you how many you get. Unfortunately, you have to break it down to see how many you get. That's why I suggest saving all the time. So Monster Brain and Monster Blood. If you click on it though, you have to like click on it and then scroll all the way down to find out the exact value it takes to actually break it down if you have a stack. Because if you notice that it says the price to break it down is $5.95, and if you highlight this, it says the price is 30 gold. So you really don't know what it is 100% until you click on it and then scroll all the way down and then go, aha, it's 7 per thing you break down. So these sell for 10 each to the vendors that pay the most to it, but I can break them down for 7 each, and they turn into two different resources that he would pay 10 each for. So I end up making a profit by breaking this down here. Instead of getting 10 crowns per monster brain, I get 13 crowns per monster brain. Sometimes, because this game is so greedy, that sometimes that little bit of a difference is the type of things you need to do to make money, because the game is greedy as hell when it comes to selling and buying things. But yeah, and notice I got another stack of 100 monster blood, 61 monster blood. Like, I got tons of resources here. But yeah, this is one of my favorite vendors to make money with. I've only recently started trying to make money really hard. I would make money really hard every now and then, but not that, it wasn't that important to spend that much time on it. But one of the DLC quests ends up making you spend 30,000 crowns to unlock all of its content. And as you can imagine how much money you've made in the game since you've been playing it, that's an absurd amount of money. That is just absurd. Like, I was very angry. I was very angry at this game. Just ridiculous. Alright, there's monster blood. Where's the other monster blood? I'm trying to find, because I had a bunch of vials of it, I thought. Or did I not? Oh, that's Ghoul's blood. Yeah, see, Ghoul's blood I think turns into 2 monster bloods, and Ghoul's blood is the same thing. It only sells for 10. So I'd make a profit off of selling that. Yeah, so you want to be careful what you do this stuff to, though, and which is why I say normally just do it to things you have an absurd amount of. Because if you end up getting rid of resources that you needed to craft some stuff, it costs normally 10 times whatever you sold it for to buy it back. Even if you accidentally sell a thing. Like if I sell this sword to him, it's going to cost around... Well, he's not as greedy as most vendors, so I could buy it back for a little less than 10 times the value. But most of these things, it's 10 times the value. Like here's a relic worth 150. Order of the Flaming Sword. So I'm gonna sell this because I don't need this. And if you accidentally sell something that you need to buy back, just reload the game because you've lost an absurd amount of money. Look at that. 150, and now I just gave it to him, but he wants 913 for me to get it back. That's why he's one of the better vendors in the game, because he's actually less than 10. He will get he gives you more than 10% the value of the product, which is very rare. Normally you get less than 10% or 10% at tops, it feels like. The only thing it's not like that really is the armor. He's not very generous on the armor compared to other blacksmiths that specialize in armor. But for everything else that he does, like the rings and stuff like that, that those blacksmiths do as well, he does way better on the prices of that stuff. So since I'm already here and he has some money, I'm actually going to disassemble one of those things I was talking about there. Oh wait, do I only have one stack of 100 ghoul's blood? Yeah, it looks like I only have one stack of 100 ghoul's blood. Well, I don't need that many, so I'm actually gonna break it down to here. And I'm pretty sure I'll never need ghoul's blood anytime at any point in the game anymore. But just in case, even me, as late as I am in the game, I'm still not getting rid of all of it. There we go. So I just made a stack of 100 things to sell him. It cost me 300 to do it, and I get back 1,000 for it. So profit. But other stuff like this, the monster hide. Be careful with the monster parts, like cured dracoid leather, monster hide. A lot of some like. A flawless ruby, some of these things that look like they might be really worth selling, you get they're super necessary for building stuff or for crafting things, and it's not worth it. It's not worth
so long.
The amount of money you have to spend to buy that stuff back if you accidentally sold it.
Greetings, idea.
Like I said, 10 times normally is what you end up having to pay.
Listen.
But another thing that isn't always worth it is buying stuff that you don't have. Like, because sometimes it's so expensive to buy it. Like this Demetrium ingot is 125 to craft. Or this plate here is 250 to craft, by the way. Not to just buy it outright, but to craft it. And if you were to buy it from him, let's see, where is it? Oh, does he not have Demetrium plate? Yes, he doesn't even have it, I think. He has the dark iron plate. But hell, you saw how cheap this was to craft compared, and you see that's 457 to buy it. So like if you did have to buy, wait, is this it here? I wasn't paying attention. No, that's dark steel. Meteorite plate. So Demetrium is around the same as a meteorite plate. Notice it's 964 to buy this. It's so fucking expensive just to buy a crafting ingredient that you normally need multiples of to craft armor. Just it's insane. And so if you end up selling stuff like that, oh, you regret it. You regret it real bad. I could have swore they had Demetrium plate on him. But yeah, and it's crazy. So one thing that you want to be able to do, one thing that if you do will actually help out quite a lot, is before you sell any armor or weapon, if you're planning on doing some crafting, that might use rare resources that you don't currently have a stockpile of, pay attention to what they dismantle in. So first go to dismantle before you sell it, and then see that like this sword turns into Demetrium ore and a glowing ore ingot. And notice that it's 492 to break it down. So you'll get both of those materials rather than having to buy them separately. This is meteorite ore, silver ore. Look, I get the cured draconoid leather, I get Demetrium, I get glowing ore. These are pretty expensive to break down because like they're like high level Witcher gear. But there's a lot of lower level stuff that turns into some of the things you need. Like this is, you get a dark iron ingot, a leather strap, and a timber if you need any of that stuff, and it's only 21 to break down versus trying to buy it. Alright, where's that dark iron ingot? Right here? Yeah. So buying it is 87. Just buying a dark iron ingot is 87. But then you get all that other stuff too.
So long.
For a fraction of the price. So.
Long live
That'll help you, because I know you still probably are going to want to craft new armors and stuff. Yeah, so. Alright, this will be the last tip, because I do want to play the game. I'm just trying to remember all the little things. There's more things, but not all I can remember. Is this vendor right here in the middle of this town is actually really useful, because quite often in the game you'll find foreign money that you can't actually sell. Don't forget to turn it into him for real money that you can actually use, because you'll sometimes get stockpiles of thousands of crowns worth of this money that you can't use, which right now I have 347 of this and 68 of that. And you notice I can sell them, it says, but it said just come over to this guy.
Let's play Burn the Witch.
So you notice I have about 400 of those monies, and when I come over to this guy, you see how much money I make off of it. Or was it 400? Do I really? No, it was about 200, right? What am I thinking? Did I say 400? Did I actually have that much of it? Yeah, I actually do have about 400, a little bit over 400. It's been a while since I visited him, I guess. So this is in that big square where they keep burning people.
How can I be of service?
I'd like to convert some currency.
Got some coin I'd like to convert into crowns.
You've come to the right place.
So for 400 of the foreign currency, he ends up giving me 551 of the normal you can spend. And I've ended up getting way more than that sometimes. Sometimes, I think the most I've ever gotten off of him was like 3,000 all at once. Oh yeah, I stream every day, Isaiah. In fact, I'm about done on YouTube for the day though. I switched to Twitch after the first hour or two. It's kind of random how long I stream on YouTube nowadays, because YouTube is like a dead platform for streaming. So let me actually, oh wait, I think I already copied it recently, so I'm gonna link that right now, because I'm actually about to switch to Twitch right now. And as soon as we switch to Twitch, I'm finished telling Night Holler about all those little tips, because he was getting stuck at a specific point in the game, and he was having to grind out better armor and weapons, and whew, that's tedious. That's tedious. Like, I've spent a long time doing that myself, just because I like to experience a lot of the game's content. And you saw, I told you how many different builds I went through. I've done at least 5, I think, now, just playing around, testing out different things. And in the meantime, what I've been doing is I've been crafting all the Witcher gears. because the Witcher gears, it's just, you know, it's interesting. I figure, you know, it's thematic to use the different Witcher gears, but I also, they don't, as you upgrade them, they add more and more to them and they look different. So, and plus different Witcher gears better for different types of builds that you might want to do. So if you look here, I'm already wearing Mastercrafted Witcher gear, and you see here I got Mastercrafted Griffin Witcher gear and the Mastercrafted swords, and then over here I have a superior bear sword, a superior wolven steel one, a superior wolven bear steel, another viper. Those two aren't the same, but then if you see here, I got the superior chest piece for the bear, the superior wolf for the bear. Like, I have all the gear at either master or superior. That's actually a lot. That's one of the reasons why I was recommending that thing I told you where you save multiple times and then buy the buy that respec potion and spend about a half an hour on or so on just various random builds that you think about. Just look at all the skills and be like, I want to try this, and then go fight some stuff for about a half an hour, and then reload and then try something else, and then reload and try something else, and it's just spend the whole day doing that one time, where you spend like 2 hours or so trying out different builds and reloading every time, because you'll find something you like. And then when you find something you like, you can actually look at all the different Witcher armors and decide which one complements you best. Like for the current build that I currently have, the Griffin armor is the best thing for me to use. So if I decided that this was the thing I liked and I wanted to play the entire game with this sort of fighting style, then I would never bother investing in like the bear armor and the wolf armor and the feline armor. And it would save me a lot of money and time. Oh yeah. Speaking of the Griffin stuff, since I'm gonna actually start fighting stuff for real again. Wait a second. Yes, okay. Alright, well he said I needed a lot of crowns. I'm up to 6,000 crowns now. I can't imagine that this DLC wants more than I've already just got right there. Because, I mean, the DLC from that one vendor we unlocked wanted 30,000 crowns. If they need more than 6,000 crowns in whatever this next part is, I'm going to be kind of salty. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm switching to Twitch. And then we're going to do the DLC. Alright, or continue the DLC. So I will see you guys on Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Have a nice one, everyone. Oh, and hi, Larry. Sorry I didn't say hi, Larry and Bobby and Bubby. I know you guys just popped in, but I'm actually switching to Twitch for the rest of the day. I've been on YouTube for about 2 hours today, and we're going to spend another 6 or so hours on the Twitch. So let's get this turned on real fast. So there'll be a nice, smooth transition. Creator Studio. And let me pop out chat. Alright. Nice. Alright, I'll see you guys there. Have a nice one.